the Stephen C. O'Connell Center on the campus of the University of Florida. Tonight, we feature the #1 Florida Gators as they welcome the #18 Auburn Tigers. I'm Bart Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark, broadcasting from our respective Dome studios. Now, Kathy, emotions will run high tonight since it's senior night as well as alumni night here in Gainesville. Plus, both of these teams are coming off significant accomplishments last week. Auburn had their second highest team total in a win over Georgia, and Florida faced a huge amount of adversity with 4 gymnasts out with COVID-related issues last week. A lot going on in the SEC gymnastics, Kathy.
And a less prepared team may have faltered, but it turned into a truly memorable meet for the Gators and a chance to sing the praises of the too often unsung heroes. Hallie Taylor stepped into 3 lineups, as did Clapper, who also earned her first 10-0 on beam. And Alyssa Bauman gave us all the feels, winning the all-around and competing on bars for the first time since 2016. And Cassie Stevens led her Auburn Tigers to a season-high 197-plus score with an outstanding 4-event performance with a career-high 39.45 and the win, as well as 3-event career best. So both teams are coming in on a high.
And we're getting set for the first rotation. The home team, Florida, they open up on the vault, and you see their lineup. Jazzy Foberg will lead them off. And they have all of the athletes back in the lineup that were out last week because of COVID-related issues. And Jenny Rowland, in her 6th year at the head coach, is back on the floor as well.
Jasmine's doing a Yurchenko full twist, 995 start value. Nice block off the table, very slightly under-rotated, so she had to hop forward ever so slightly.
Auburn will open up on the bars in this first rotation. And as Jeff Grabe has told us, this is the youngest team in the top 20 in the NCAA ranking. 17 of the 24 routines are performed by underclassmen, 5 freshmen and 7 sophomores on this young roster. You see Anna Sumner will lead them off. She's a sophomore from Georgia.
She does beautiful work on the uneven bars. Her most impressive skill is the pack salto down to low bar. Right after that single bar release move, called it Tkachev. Here comes the pack salto. It is so well done. Very floaty, good form. She went over too far on that cast handstand pirouette on the low bar. That'll be a slight deduction. Nice final handstand. Let's see if she can get the first stick of the night on bars for Auburn. Double layout. Nailed it. So this truly is the prettiest part of this routine. She does it very, very well. A double layout. It was a little bit of whippiness in that, but found the landing, no movement.
Megan Skaggs, the senior from Marietta, Georgia, having just an outstanding senior citizen. She was one of those athletes who performed consistently in the all-around last week to help Florida to an impressive 197.5.
This is a Yurchenko full as well, but watch how special it is. She lifts her center of gravity off the table and flares this full out, stretches the body before she lands. That just has all the finishing touches that a good Yurchenko full should have.
And she's coming right after Jazzy Foberg had a season-high 985.
Very nice technique. Just a little bit of flexed feet in flight. Needs to really keep those toes stretched and pointed, but that's being picky because the rest was really nice.
Next up on bars for Auburn will be Piper Smith. She's the sophomore from North Carolina. One of the big stories, really, she walked on as a freshman, and she's really earned a spot on this team, Kathy.
I love these back-to-back skills. From low bar up to high and right back down to low. Again, a little too far over on that handstand pirouette on low bar. Strong final cast to handstand. Double layout, she flung it out, but still found the landing. Good for her. They must have made a pact with each other. We're going to try to stick every one of these dismounts.
We'll go back to vault for Florida. Megan Skaggs, 9.925, a career high for her. Megan, of course, is one of the 3 seniors being celebrated tonight. So Florida off to an outstanding start. Here is Savannah Shane here.
The first 1.5 twist we'll see of the night, 10-0 start value. And Savannah can really fly on this vault if she hits the block. Wow, look at the landing. I saw a little bit of soft knees in the air, but that was really the only form deduction. It was very, very minor. The judges sit right on the side, so they look for this laid out, stretched position. Very well done.
Addie Sabados, the sophomore from Colorado, will be next up for Auburn on the bars.
So this routine is highlighted by a very high and fully rotated single bar release move. It's called a ray. And watch the amplitude. Beautiful single bar release. You get a 1/10 of a point bonus for those single bar release moves. Bail the handstand, a little bit piked in the hips. You've got to have open hips in those handstands. Slight muscle up to that last handstand, but hit the vertical. And a double layout. Oh, a scoop back on the landing. Couldn't quite find that stuck landing, but that first release move was so well done. Great amplitude, and I love that she turns it all the way over, closes those legs as she regress, gets big swing out of it. And the dismount just didn't quite hit the release point perfectly to find that shape, so where she didn't have to pike down so abruptly, so aggressively, and make her over-rotate.
Nia Reed set to go, coming after Savannah Shane here, a career high 9.95.
Bart,
and
she
these
can travel
4 final vaulters can be huge, Kathy.
Absolutely, she can fly a mile off this table. Watch the distance. So if she can get the normal distance she gets, which is huge, and get the height, this is a giant ball. Oh! She almost makes it out to that second line of that mat. That's huge distance, but she was slightly under-rotated. She needed a little bit more rotation, a little bit more block off the table. She was thinking stick, I believe.
Kathy, let's look at what the judges are looking for on the bars in particular.
Well, vertical handstands first. You have to be in that straight up and down position, almost pause in that handstand for no deduction. I look for smooth, straight on cast handstands. Release moves, like we've seen a couple really big, She was being aggressive on that handstand to show it off. I thought she was going to be able to pull it back. So a fall, 5/10 of a point deduction. And she just got her shoulders way over, too far. Arms were even slightly bent and couldn't push through the shoulders to block it out.
This is Cassie Stevens, who last week had an outstanding all-around performance. She's coming after Sabados had a career-high 9.85 and Piper Smith a 9.875.
And take 2 was perfect.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, she is just rattled. Oh, nice job coming back. It's not easy when she's clearly out of her rhythm. Finishes with a double layout. Pulled in just a little bit too much. Sorry, any gymnast watching that will gasp. She just held on a touch too long, pulled in.
Trinity Thomas set to go on the vault. She has scored perfect 10s on 3 events, never on this event. A lot of her fans are hoping this might be the one. Oh!
Not this time. She has, I was gonna set this up with, she has stuck so many of these vaults this season, whereas previous years, big, beautiful vault, couldn't find the landing, and unfortunately, couldn't find it today.
She had a 9.975 in the first meet of the season. And she, of course, as a junior out of York, Pennsylvania, just lighting up collegiate gymnastics with her superb performances. Aria Brush now coming up. And of course, this will be an important performance. A good time to remind the audience that 6 athletes compete on each event. You count just the best 5 scores towards that team total. So Cassie Stevens' score will be extremely low, and that will be likely the one they'll drop. So if they can get 2 hits in Brush and Goborn, their final 2 performers, they should be in okay shape on this event. There, once again, 6 gymnasts per team compete in each event. The best 5 scores count towards that team total on each event.
And this is an enormous opportunity for Aria to show she can handle the pressure of coming up after a fall. She's only a sophomore. They just need a hit routine, get them back on track. Finishes with a double layup and a stick. Good for her. I'm sure her heart was pounding through her leotard. Really nice to see her step up. There were little things to deduct for in this routine, little form errors, but she accomplished the big thing, and that was getting them back on track with a hit and a stick.
Final vaulter for Florida here in this first rotation, Peyton Richards. Trinity Thomas had a 9.825 after stepping back on that 1.5.
Did the 1.5 today, the first time this season, and nailed it. Oh, I'm so glad they gave her the green light for this. They put her at the end of the lineup. She's been doing it full all season long, just waiting to be let out of the gates. And just a little slight hop to the side. Held on with those toes, though. Did you see her fight to not move those toes in the mat? What a
Peyton Richards, the sophomore from Mokina, Illinois. Very solid on all 4 events. Impressive there on that 1.5 for the first time this season for her. Here is Darian Goborn coming after Aria Brush had a 9.9.
And this is a big routine. Look at that beautiful combination. The Tkachev on high bar down to the pack salto. Absolutely very well done. And watch the height on this dismount. It is enormous. She took it out. So she let go of the bar just a split second too soon and couldn't come up with a stick. Usually she's above the bar.
You remember 1 week ago, Jenny Rowland out with COVID protocols, watched the meet from home, and she FaceTimed the team to tell them congratulations. When we come back, we'll talk to Jenny Rowland and Alyssa Bauman about that heroic effort under adversity.
Jenny, take me through the events leading up to the challenges your team faced last Friday.
Really, it wasn't up until meet day that we knew for sure who was capable of being there, who was not. And so I think that's what made it a little bit more challenging. We had a few athletes step up on events that they have never competed their entire career in college on. But all in all, it's something that we've continued to discuss as a team. Everybody's got to be ready. When your name is called, it's that time, it's go time, and that's how we have been preparing day in and day out in the gym.
We saw the emotion on Alyssa's face after that first bar routine in competition in over 4 years. Tell me what time Friday she found out she was competing bars and what went through your mind as you watched it at home.
That morning, I actually remember being on the phone with Owen. I had called in and we were FaceTiming and talking, and I saw Alyssa come in. She said, I just came in here to tell you I'm ready to go on bars tonight. So that confirmation, I mean, it was the right place at the right time. And I knew when she came in and said that it was going to be a special night.
Alyssa, competing bars for the first time since 2016. Can you walk me through that routine and the emotions you felt afterwards?
I knew we had 5 hits, so I was kind of questioning, do I even go? Do I do this bar routine? I was extremely nervous. It's been so long since I've done a bar routine. But then I just told myself, let's just try it. Like, you've been waiting so long for this moment and you've trained so hard for it. And when I landed that dismount, I was just so excited that I finally just competed a bar routine. Not even that it was good or that I made it, just that I did it.
Tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, we'll have a 2-hour recap of this week's men's swimming and diving championships. The Florida Gators have won the last 8 titles. And next Sunday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, we'll also have a 2-hour recap of the weekend's SEC Indoor Track and Field Championships. Both are right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Team still warming up. Final one touch before we get set for this next rotation. Quick meet summary after the first rotation. Florida leads by .125. Savannah Shanehair, a career high 9.95. And for Auburn and their head coach there, Jeff Graba, clutch performances after the mistake by Cassie Stephens, and they came out with a 49.325. Impressive team score on bars, considering that they had that disastrous performance, unfortunately, in the middle of the lineup. So this meet is close, and we expect it to be close all night long. Olivia Hollingsworth will be first up for Auburn in this vault lineup tonight. You see the rest of the athletes who compete.
Watch how quickly she gets her hands back to the table to set up this block and the distance. It had a little bit of a pipe down and of course the big hop at the end. But the first part, the round off technique, is really well done. Tried to open up and flare.
Ellie Lazari, the freshman from Wheat, Illinois, will get the leadoff spot for Florida on the bars.
This bar lineup has huge max score potential, and it starts off so strong. Ellie Lazari has such beautiful technique and form. Look at the toe point that she maintains from start to finish. Gorgeous past handstand. Fabulous pack salto down to the low bar. Little bit short on that final cast to handstand, but this has been a tremendous routine. Gorgeous form on that half and half out, but the big hop back, they're going to have to take a deduction on the landing. Her exquisite toe point is just beautiful. The form she shows, the straight body on the handstand, and then maintains that toe point and form throughout a very difficult single bar release move. Well done.
Back to the vault now. Piper Smith set to go. Olivia Hollingsworth had a 9.775.
Piper does a Yurchenko full. Oh, a little low in that landing. Her chest was very, very low, so the judges will deduct for that. It just means it lacked the height and rotation to land with that chest up high for no deduction. So a little bit crunched in on her arms. They were slightly bent, couldn't get a good block and pushed through the shoulder, so short on the landing.
Gabrielle Galentine, the freshman from North Carolina, will be next to go on the bars for Florida. She has a season high of a 9.925.
And another very good bar worker, good technique. Love her straight arm work. You should not see elbows on uneven bars. You want to see completely straight arm swing. Nice job keeping the legs together. They look like they are glued at the ankles. A little rush on that handstand pirouette on low bar. Wow, that's a handstand right on top. Giant swings into the double layout. Oh, just got really mushy in the knees on the landing and couldn't quite get that perfect stick. I like that she stayed pencil straight in the air, but she was slightly over-rotated and then really bent knees very deeply.
Addie Sabados getting ready to go now on vault. The second 9.775 in a row for Auburn. That one for Piper Smith just before her.
Now Addie is a vaulter who tries to flare out this Yurchenko full. It's a nice finishing touch. And if she can get good enough height, good enough rotation, land at the chest high, and open those arms out to show the finished position, will be a strong vault.
Her season high is a 9.85.
There's the arm. They go out. She got the landing, that's for sure, and that'll just make her day. There's nothing quite like the feeling of a stuck landing. Sometimes they hurt a little, but
yeah, they do.
yeah, but nice balance between height and distance. We'll see bigger vaults, you know, higher, but wow, when you hit a vault that's just as low as you can do it, and then you get the stick, fantastic.
Megan Skaggs competing in the all-around tonight on senior night. She is a senior, had a 9.925 on the vault in the first rotation. She's coming after Gabby Galentine had a 9.775.
And this is a big swinging bar routine with superb technique, effortless swing, much better job on that handstand pirouette on low bar. Look at that, just right to the handstand. This is excellent. Superb routine. Oh, I don't think she needed to scoot. If she just absorbed it just a little bit more, I think she could have gotten that stick, but that was a fantastic routine. That was a gorgeous, picture perfect, textbook cast to handstand. And this, if she had a little bit of over rotation, so the momentum was going back.
Kathy, there was a lot of uncertainty about Drew Watson. She's dealing with a wrist injury. We weren't sure whether she was going to do no events or even the all-around, so she's been in and out of the lineup here in the last few minutes.
It's a 1.5 twist. It's a big one if she can get it. Ooh, stiff-legged on the landing. But wow, that's very close to a stick. I'd like to see a little bit more knee bend.
Yeah, just for safety. That's scary.
Just for safety. But she just wanted this landing so much. Fortunately, the legs didn't hyperextend. She kept them very tight. They were locked. But it didn't seem to be a problem for her.
Well, we made a big deal about Alyssa Bauman doing her first bar routine in 4.5 years last week. Here it is, senior night, her final home meet for the Florida Gators, and she's going to do it again. How nice is that?
You never would have known it was her first competitive bar routine in 4 years. She looked like a veteran. She has super technique on this event. Beautiful lines. Here's her release move. After the line change, a Jaeger, beautifully done. That form is impeccable. Into the bail handstand. This is the hardest part of the routine for her, the double layout. If she can get her feet up and find this release point, hit the layout.
Oh, yeah.
Just that left foot, it moved ever so slightly. She needs just an ounce more rotation. That is all. And this routine is going to be a solid mainstay in this lineup because she looks fantastic. I love that her arms are shoulder width apart. They're not real wide, so it doesn't look muscled. It looks effortless. Nice swing.
Darian Goborn next now for Auburn on the vault. Drew Watson got a 9.9 for that 1.5 twister. Let's see what Goborn can do. She can really fly.
She can do it all on this vault. She's got height, she's got distance, she's got technique, and if she can find the landing, oh, big step forward. It's still a really great vault.
Good job. Once again, vault lineup changes here. Cassie Stevens out of the vault. And Peyton Smith will be the final vaulter for Auburn when we go back over there. Savannah Shanehair, you see her average, 9.87. Bauman, a 9.9 after last week's 9.925. Good for her.
And this is a gymnast who can strive for a 10. She has the type of routine that can just be perfect. Look at how aggressively she goes after these handstands and that beautiful Jaeger. She was in just a touch close, but she manages every skill with such finesse that it's hard to find fault. Little over on that blind change, but double front half. I thought she'd get the stick. It was high enough, the rotation was there. She may have gotten just a touch ahead of herself. Love that combination and the way she performs that Jaeger. And the double front half, look how high she is. She is at the level of the high bar, just needed a touch more rotation to get the stick.
So here it is, Peyton Smith now, the final vaulter, coming after Darian Goborn had a 9.875.
Okay, it was a little bit of a small Yurchenko full vault, didn't have the big amplitude, but kudos to her for stepping in last minute. Notice she's almost, her feet almost hit the table, but they are so pleased with this gymnast to be able to step into the lineup and do her job, so well done.
Good for her stepping in for Cassie Stevens, who was taken out of the vault lineup there in the last moment. You see the bars average for Trinity Thomas, 9.94. Now, Kathy, this is interesting because Jenny Rowland told us that Trinity Thomas really likes to be in the 5th spot rather than the 6th spot, and here she is in the anchor spot tonight. What an opportunity for her.
Well, it often can set up a really gigantic score, especially when you can swing bars like Trinity. Very clean, very effortless. She was a little far away when she regrassed that pack salto. But like Savannah, she can manage with such finesse all of these skills. And she is attacking. You can tell it's like she knows where the sweet spot is on every single skill.
She looked very comfortable in that anchor spot. My goodness.
Yeah. This is the kind of routine that you have to hold on to something when you watch it. It is that free and that aggressive. That's fun.
Well, Florida will have the lead at the halfway point in this competition, but Auburn, a lot of improvement this year, and we'll talk about that when we come back. Well, while we are away, the scores came in for Trinity Thomas. Florida has the lead by .475, but it was a perfect 10 on that superb bar routine. The second 10 of the season for her, and the 6th of her amazing career for the Florida Gators, who are hosting senior night in Gainesville. Hi everyone, I'm Bart Connor along with my fellow Olympic medalist Kathy Johnson-Clark. That was a treat because just about everything Trinity Thomas does is perfect.
Well, what was amazing was how she finessed some of those skills because they were slightly different than she normally does, and yet she has that talent to be able to just rein it in and get what she needs.
Florida's on the roll as the #1 team in the country, but Auburn has shown some significant improvements. This is a very young team, the youngest team in the top 20 in the NCAA. And you can see here by this graph, from week 1 up until right now, Auburn on the rise, Kathy.
I remember the first time I watched them compete. Yeah, they made mistakes. They were a little bit rough, but I could see the potential. Now we are seeing it come to fruition. They were thrown into the fire, but look at this trend, this upward trend. They are a team on the rise.
Jeff Grabe's team doing a nice job this season. SEC Honors came out this week, and the SEC Specialist of the Week is Auburn's Darian Goborn, junior from Sarasota, Florida. Scored a 9.925 or better in all 3 events in their win over Georgia last week.
And the SEC Gymnast of the Week, Alabama's Luisa Blanco, won the all-around with career best scores on all 4 events for the 2nd week in a row. Her 39.825, highest all-around score in program history.
And the SEC Freshman of the Week, LSU's Haley Bryant, freshman from Cornelius, North Carolina, finished 2nd place in the all-around with a 39.6 at #6, Alabama. Now, here is the status for Florida tonight. If they win tonight, they win at least a share of the regular season SEC championship. If Florida wins and Alabama loses, Florida will clinch the title outright. Now, if Florida wins and Alabama wins, then they'll meet next week. And Kathy, you and I are going to cover that event. So a lot of drama in the SEC, and we're glad you've joined us. A lot of excitement here in Gainesville on senior night and alumni night. And Jenny Rowland back in the house, but last week she had to sit on the sidelines and she cheered for her team from home. More on that when we come back. To Gainesville, Florida has the lead at the halfway point in this competition. There is Jenny Rowland in her 6th season. She's the 2020 SEC Coach of the Year. And as we saw before the break, she has an interesting tradition that she does with Miss Peyton Richards during a sequence in the choreography of her routine, Kathy. She kind of performs along with her, doesn't she?
She does. There's a point where Peyton turns to the side of the beam, and Jenny just happens to be standing right there, and she kind of does her little hands with her. And you can see all the teammates standing right nearby the balance beam there. You feel so much support from your team, from your coaches. Peyton is perfectly suited for this leadoff spot. She is so comfortable with the unique pressure that leadoff is. Triple series, look at that. Love the soft but aggressive landing. Good job hitting those positions in those leaps. Could point the toes a little bit harder. The judges are looking for that full 100. There it is. There's to the side. She just kind of does it with her. It's beautiful. This is a nice, very confident routine. Oh, did not fight all the way through the end to get the stick. But the routine was really nice. This triple series earns bonus for doing these 3 skills in a row. Very difficult. 2 layout step outs. And nice angle to see that she hits that full split on those leaps.
All right, for Auburn, they're on the floor, and you see their lineup. Morgan Lee Oldham, the sophomore, will lead them off for this very young team.
She opens the routine with a really difficult jump. It's a wolf turn. 1.5 turn in the air in that wolf position. Opens with a pike double back. That's a stick. Back with a back 1.5. Did not have the control on the landing. She was slightly under-rotated on the front layout. Close with another double back, this time in tuck position. Very good control. You're allowed that 1 step into the lunge. Very well done. She had a little trouble on that middle pass, slightly under-rotated, but this first pass, the pike double back, watch how she controls on both feet. She doesn't even have to step into her lunge, just arms go straight up. Needs a little bit more arm lift into that tuck double back, but beautiful lunge out of it.
Megan Skaggs already with 2 9.925s tonight. 2019, she shared the SEC beam title with her teammate Alyssa Bauman.
This is one of my favorite beam routines in the NCAA. Shows flexibility, balance. Just such a nice beam posture. Watch her stretch through her torso, lifts up out of her hips. And she shows splits in the air, needs to really Pay attention to that back foot. She can keep it pointed just a little bit longer. Her acro series is back handspring layout, step out, very solid. Front aerial. If you've worked balance beam, you can tell when a natural beamer, a very good beamer, makes just teensy tiny internal correction so we don't see any problems at all. That was a gorgeous switch side lead. Just the dismount side aerial to a layout full. She has such great awareness and she stays calm, gets the stick. I love this. Cat leap into the switch side, perfect straddle position in that leap.
Tomorrow right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app, our full day of college basketball is capped off by this important matchup. At 6 Eastern, 5 Central, number 6 Alabama looks to clinch at least a tie for their first regular season SEC title since 2002 against Mississippi State in Starkville. Addie Sabados now coming after Morgan Lee had a career-high 9-8.
This is a front double full. Difficult pass. It's an E element. Gymnastic skills are rated from A to E. E the most difficult. Careful to switch in half. Need to show a little bit more split, a little better position in that second lead. I love the full use of her body and big sweeping arms. Very dramatic in this routine. To front layout. Steps with good control into the air basket and a soft and beautiful, very expressive routine. Nicely performed.
Ellie Lazari will be next to go. Megan Skaggs had a 9-9. Lazari was born in Foshan, China, adopted at 18 months of age, has a 9.95 as a career high on this event.
Ellie does a triple series as well. It's two back handsprings into a layout. To really keep those hips square, shoulder square, keep the center of gravity right over the beam. Just gorgeous split jump. She's so crisp and precise with her movement. Just like on bar, she has an absolutely impeccable toe point.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful routine, just really exquisitely performed. Finished a nice routine with a superb dismount and a stuck landing.
Back to beam. Sabados had a 9.85. This is Olivia Hollingsworth, who trained with Simone Biles at World Champion Gymnastics in Texas, and I guess it doesn't hurt to train with the most dominant gymnast in the history of the sport. Olivia herself was adopted at 10 months of age from China.
And Olivia has a super high level of difficulty in this routine. Watch this open pass. A full out. Oh, just stepped Out of bounds, right over that line. That's a 10th of a point. Gorgeous work on that leap series. Olivia's getting a little bit more comfortable doing college floor routines where your teammates are on the sideline, wanting you to smile, get into the routine. When you come from elite gymnastics, there's less smiling. Front through to a double back. As I said, a super high level of difficulty in this routine. And it was both in the tumbling and in the dance. She did a great job with her leaps. They were difficult leaps. Well done. This first pass is a double back. Watch how she waits. The first somersault is open, meaning she doesn't twist until she goes into the second somersault and just stepped off to the side and out of bounds. So unfortunately, her score will be a 10th of a point lower, and her chest was a little bit low on that final tumbling pass.
Alyssa Baumann now on the beam, coming after Ellie Lazzari. Had a 9.975, meaning one of the judges gave her a perfect 10. And get this, Kathy, all three of the final gymnasts here for Florida have scored perfect 10s in their careers on this event.
This is truly one of the best, if not the best, beam teams this year in NCAA gymnastics. It's a well-deserved #1 ranking right now. Alyssa is gorgeous in both her dance and her acrobatic skills. Oh, nice leaps. I love that she got that back leg up, kept the toe pointed. She's been working on those details. She wants perfection. And so far, I have to say she's got it. And she knows it. She can't get excited right now. She needs to go all the way to the end. Very difficult switch leap with a half turn.
Unreal.
Her dismount is a round off 1.5 twist. It's a blind landing. She does it well. There it is! Wow! That was spectacular. Now, did I notice that her arms came slightly forward on the landing? Yes. But it is so much better than any of the routines we've seen so far, and those were spectacular. So look how high that back leg was on her leap. And this dismount, she found the floor and she glued those toes and did not let them move. That was spectacular.
And it's senior night. What an emotional performance for this young lady, and what amazing contributions she's made to this program. We said it was going to be an emotional night. Wow. Back to floor. Cassie Stevens coming after Olivia Hollingsworth, had a 9.725. These routines for Auburn, very important right now in terms of their national qualifying scores and standing. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Baumann scores in. It's a 9.925.
Switch ring, very difficult leap. Finishes the routine with a tuck double back. Wonderful to see her get back out, hit this routine. She had the troubles on the uneven bars, and it's the situation where you have to just put that behind you, go out, perform your heart out.
Up next for your
These athletes are tough, they're resilient.
Kathy, we were talking to Coach Jeff Graber earlier this week, and he said this is also midterm exams at Auburn this week. So he said we've had 3 great meets in a row, and our athletes are a little bit tired. Okay, Trinity Thomas coming after the 9.925 for Alyssa Bauman.
Really lovely leap series to open the routine. I love Trinity's pace. I love the way she can cover. She was slightly overturned on that full turn and just posed right out of it. One arm back handspring, unusual, into the layout step out, solid as can be, and I love that she goes right up onto releve out of the layout. Beautiful front aerial to the beat jump, handspring swing down. Another incredibly superb routine. This is a dismount she can stick. Side aerial to full. Wow.
All right, what are you going to do with that? That's unreal.
Yeah. Now notice there were no extra arm movements at all on that landing. Look at this, one arm back handspring to layout step out. Perfect balance. And this is a dismount that is so consistent, you can almost call it before she does it. It's going to be a stick. Wow.
9.85 was the score for Cassie Stevens. Here is Drew Watson.
A nagging wrist injury that they're managing this meet. High double back, a little bit of a long step into that lunge. One and a half, great amplitude on that first skill especially. Final tumbling pass, tuck double back, over-rotated. It's like her legs just gave out just a little bit and she had to stumble backwards. So unfortunately there will be deductions for the steps and the out of bounds. This is the most difficult pass in the routine, pike double back. She lifts that front foot off the floor just a little bit, so that's a slight deduction.
Leah Clapper will be the final performer for Florida. Trinity Thomas had a 9.925. Clapper had a 10 last week.
Leah also does a triple series right here, and she has worked so hard cleaning up the form. See a little bit of flex feet going over, but solid as can be. She's become so extremely confident with this routine, likes going last, likes that feeling of being an anchor. It's certainly a little bit different different situation when you have 5 really great routines before you. Look at her fight for that landing. Well done. What a beam lineup and performance. This was an excellent beam rotation for Florida. They are good from start to finish. So well trained, so confident, so consistent.
Florida has 3 scores of 49.6 or better this season on beam, including the top 2 scores in the nation. Darian Goborn will be final performer for Auburn, coming after Drew Watson, only a 9.625. This is always fun to watch, Kathy.
High energy, and when someone loves to perform, it's impossible to not love watching. Full to front layout, little stutter step on the landing. So nice, she knows when to go big on the choreography and when to hit those nuanced subtleties of the routine. Great feel for the music. And a sky-high pike double back. Excellent landing. What a finish. Good for her. Oh, yeah. Can you imagine how she is at home? I love it. I wonder if she had to wake up in the morning and put that crown on first thing in the morning. Like, she just loved to perform.
By the way, for Florida, Leah Clapper, a 9.975 on beam. When we come back, we'll give you Darian Goborn's score and continue with tonight's Friday Night Heights. A lot more going on with Friday Night Heights next week, and we'll be covering some of that as well. Hi, everyone. I'm Bart Connor, along with Kathy Johnson-Clark. And Kathy, this, of course, is Black History Month, and you and I have been so impressed by how many schools have really fully embraced this, and they've created some powerful tributes to the contributions from black athletes in the NCAA gymnastics.
It has been so inspiring to see them take this and move it from, it's much more than just a moment, it's a movement. Tomorrow, UCLA, with the hashtags Black Excellence and Representation Matters, will debut these powerfully beautiful black and gold leotards with rich, intricate, and symbolic details. And Pitt Gymnastics first wore these gorgeous leotards last week in their Unite Until We Unite meet. And head coach Samantha Snyder said they'll be wearing them all season and for many years to come, because we wanted to be bold in our statement that this is not something that's going to go away. This is not just a moment. This is a movement. And in order to affect real change in the world, you have to be persistent and persevere.
Tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, we'll have a 2-hour recap of this week's men's swimming and diving championships. The Florida Gators have won the last 8 titles, and next Sunday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, we'll also have a 2-hour recap of the weekend's SEC Indoor Track and Field Championships. Both are right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Now, among the many alumni here tonight, there's one extremely special guest. That is Pam Titus, who was the first black gymnast at the University of Florida, and she's also the first Florida gymnast to ever score a perfect 10. She did that on floor exercise back in 1991, 30 years ago, against Auburn. We'll have some content from Pam when we come back. 30 years ago that Pam Titus, the first black gymnast at the University of Florida, scored their first ever perfect 10. And she was invited back to address the Florida gymnasts before today's meet.
guys are going to kick some butt. Go get them. Go get them, because I'm waiting. I'm waiting and I'm watching. So I'm so excited to be here, and I can't wait for things to get started this evening. So go Gators. Woo! This is the best place I've ever been.
Titus, who now a human resource manager in Boca Raton, and a great contribution she has made to NCAA gymnastics. And how great. She said when she talked to the team, it was like finally coming home, and she felt a sense of family again. It was a lovely moment, wasn't it, Kathy?
It really was, and she reminded them to take all of this with you, all of these friendships, these sisters that you now have. They're family forever.
Important opportunity now here for Auburn in the final rotation. Florida in charge of this competition. A solid 1-point lead over Auburn, but Auburn is also trying to accomplish something else here tonight. They would certainly like to get the win, but they're also hoping to improve their national qualifying score. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute.
Morgan has such a pretty presence on this event. She really commands your attention. Slight balance break after the full turn. To the side aerial. So impressed with how solid and confidently she's moving through this routine. She's not often in the beam lineup, and she is really making her presence known on this event. Nice work, just a little under rotation on that dismount. She's gonna be happy with that one. Just got a little ahead of herself, didn't quite go big enough on this 1.5 to get the full rotation.
Florida with a lead of 1 point. With their full lineup in charge tonight, looking to get a big score. Remember last week, 4 athletes out with COVID protocols, and so Leah Clapper did her part certainly last week, scoring a perfect 10 on the beam, and just a few minutes ago she had a 9.975 tonight.
She definitely has to feel on cloud 9. She's had just an amazing week. Gets to lead them off on floor exercise here. Gymnasts are required to do a combination pass with 2 saltos. She did a 1.5 into a front layout. Right to the stag jump. Job on that first leap, really showed off that straddle split position. Finishes with a tight double back. Very good control on the landing. Nice job with this routine.
Kathy, we mentioned the NQS, that's a national qualifying score, and this is how it's calculated this year specifically. You take the top 4 scores, 2 of them have to be on the road, and if you look at Auburn's scores, they were very impressive at home with those 197s, but their road scores are 196.1 and 195.575, so if they could get a good road score tonight, which is their last away meet of the year, they'll have a chance to improve their ranking, and that, of course, is how they determine who goes to which regional and who has a chance to make it to the postseason. Darian Goborn on beam now, coming after a 9.8 for Morgan Lee Olden.
A little unsteady, unsure on that landing out of the layout step out. This is the one event that Darian has really had to work on getting her confidence up to the level of her gymnastics. As Jeff said, she's very selfless. She always wants whoever she feels is the best one for that lineup spot for every meet. If it's not her, she wants somebody else to go, and Jeff Grable wants her to step up. Because this is an event, didn't quite hit that straddle position in the leap. Big dismount. Round of double twist. Down the landing. Well done. Yeah, when she does something, she does it big. Had a couple little balance breaks and a kind of a missed position in one of her leaps, but boy, she fought through that routine. That's going to build her confidence.
Talk about somebody who's having an amazing meet. Here on senior night, Megan Skaggs has a 9.925, a 9.925, and a 9.9. Here she goes on the floor.
And this floor routine has such a wonderful feel. Immediately unique and different from all the other routines, from the jazz to just the way she milks this choreography. Opens with a Rudy to a split jump. Now the judges, their angle, they may be able to see if she traveled a little too far back on that and whether she hit that split. Beautiful positions in those leaps and jumps. Jeremy Miranda, their choreography, outdid himself on this piece. It suits her perfectly and highlights all of her strengths. It's just, I enjoy watching this routine every time I see it.
Skaggs, the senior from Georgia, getting her master's in entrepreneurship. She's a grad student.
Now let's see from this angle how far this leap travels back, and if she hits the position. She had to kind of swing that arm in the air. She did it well. She finessed it very well, but it'll be a slight deduction. Oh,
she's coming after Leah Clapper. 9.825. Back to beam now. 9.85 is the score for Darian Goborn. Olivia Hollingsworth up now. Last week at her season high 9.8.
Ambitious difficulty in this routine, both in acro and dance. And we saw her come up with a clutch performance on this event a couple weeks ago. Look at that. That handspring back pipe to 2 feet. Switch leap to switch leap half. Split leap, split jump with a half turn. Like her to take that little scoot step out of the choreography before she goes into her dismount. That's being picky just to make it a fully performed routine. But this is so nicely done. More difficult in the back handspring layout step out. It's worth a little bit more, handles it very nicely. A little soft in the knee and a little scoop back. Just little things to clean up.
Ellie Lazzari now coming after Megan Skaggs, 9.85.
And as we saw in balance beam, she is lovely with her dance and her expressive performance.
Kathy, they may go for a more difficult tumbling run tonight. She has been considering going for the full in, right?
Yep. Double pike this time. Beautiful form on that back 1.5 twist. Tuck double back. Beautifully performed routine. Nice. Very dramatic finish. So as I said, one of the requirements is a combination pass, 2 saltos in a row, so the back 1.5 to the front layout, and a beautiful stag jump out of that second somersault.
Here is Meredith Sylvia. She's a beam specialist. Season high 9.9.
I love the variety of her acro and dance in this routine. Love that she stays up on toe when she finishes that full turn and kicks it out. Just a little adjustment. And does the second back handspring good to get the series front aerial to 2 back handsprings. In order to get credit for those connections, there can be no balance break, pause or hesitation, or reposition of the foot in between those skills. Switch leap to a very difficult sheep jump. Hard to make that jump pretty. Very difficult to keep the toes really pointed. She lost it just a little bit. And she has a beautiful toe point, as you'll see. Very nice high releve position. All these little details in my book are musts for big scores on beam, so well done. So as I said, this is a difficult jump, and it's so hard to be pretty. Nice split position, lost her toe point, and notice how her toes kind of crunched instead of fully extended in the toe point in that sheep jump. Just a little thing to tidy up, because she's a beautiful beam worker.
Nia Reed now for Florida on floor. She was out last week because of the COVID protocols, but Jenny Rowland told us that they had a pre-meet Zoom, and she fired up that team last week and said, this is what we train for. So go get it and help lead that team to a terrific performance last week under huge adversity. Now they're at full strength, and Florida looks on target to score over 198 once again this season.
And when you mentioned fired up, this routine can be fire. There's so much potential in terms of the way she performs this routine. Look at the pretty footwork. Front layout to a Rudy. Might have seen a little soft knees on that front layout. Nice form on those leaps. clean and precise her footwork is. I doubled that. Oh, a little short. Just short of rotation on that final pass. When you have to take a step forward out of a back tumbling pass, it means you lack just enough rotation that you can't get that perfect landing, so they'll have to deduct for the chest forward and step forward. Double layout, big pass, may have rushed the lift. That was a great performance.
And a nod from Pam Titus, how nice. Back to the beam now. Gabby McLaughlin coming after Meredith Sylvia, 9-9. So Auburn has scores between 9-8 and 9-9. Solid here on beam in this final rotation. They've been pretty solid on beam all year, Kathy.
They really have. This has been one of their best events. They're a good beam team. And this routine has been consistently pretty and confident. Ashley Johnston is their assistant coach and beam coach, was a superb balance beam worker for Alabama. Ashley Priest, people will remember that name. Interesting that when she started college, she said she was not good on beam. She got too nervous, and she learned how to compete beam in college, and she is sharing that with these athletes. So they're doing a sensational job here against the #1 team in the country. Fantastic. They are stepping up. This is nice to see. As I said, this team had so much potential from the very beginning of season, and you're starting to see them clean things up, get confident, and compete at just a higher level. Wonderful to see.
Trinity Thomas already scored a perfect 10 tonight on the bars, the 6th of her career. We've seen her reach perfection on this event as well. You see her average is well over 9-9.
I was going to say she was pretty darn close on balance beam. It looked fantastic. Watch this double layout. It's unreal. That's so amazing. And that was perhaps one of the best landings we've seen all season from her on that pass. Gorgeous control on her middle tumbling in. So many signature moves in her choreography. If she can stick this landing and not move the foot, just step into the lunge. Wow, that's... Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Oh my goodness. What a treat. She was so in control everywhere in that routine. Just complete, sublime mastery of floor exercise.
Absolutely. This first pass is done as well as it can be done. And look at the control. Literally that foot stayed planted into the lunge. And she knew when you go right into your lunge and you haven't traveled back or forward, it's a good landing.
Cassie Stevens going now after Gabby McLaughlin had a really nice 9.925. So a superb effort for Auburn on beam. You hear the cheering in the background. It's got to be a 10. So Stevens has to stay focused on beam. Wow,
And this is what
Florida
it's going to be
celebrates
like.
another perfect 10.
This is what it's going to be like at SEC championships and at NCAAs when 4 events are going at the same time. It's loud. There's always cheering and noise, so good opportunity for her to feel what this feels like. Stay focused. There's her original skill called the Stevens. That aerial from the knee down to one knee. I like her composure, I like her focus. Bars did not go her way, but she fought on the rest of her routines. True team player, good for her.
And back to floor for one more look at the final tumbling run of Trinity Thomas in her second perfect 10 tonight, Kathy.
And that's her final pass. Look how high it is. She has amplitude, style, flexibility, everything.
All right. An emotional moment for sure for Alyssa Baumann. As a senior, this is her final senior performance at home. And she's had a superb competition tonight. Coming after a perfect 10, the stage is set for a beautiful moment.
You knew she was determined to make this senior season her best. And this is a moment to shine. Front full, difficult middle pass. Good for her. What a finish. What a moment. Everything was so effortless, so light, so infused with joy. What a pleasure.
And with that 10 of Trinity Thomas, it already Florida clinches a share of the SEC regular season title. They are sharing that title at this point with Alabama, they will meet next week, and we'll be there to cover it. And what a lovely moment for Alyssa Baumann in her final senior performance here at home. But a lot more gymnastics for Florida, because that score tonight will be the highest score in the country. We will wrap up the results when we come back to Gainesville. What a night on senior night for the home team. And what a night for Florida with a 198.275. That is the highest score in the NCAA this season. And congratulations to Auburn, because that 197.025, a huge improvement. And we talked about the NQS. They will replace a 195.575 with that 197.025, which will help them in the final postseason standings. But what a night for Trinity Thomas, that 39.75. 2 perfect 10s on beam and floor, and they were well deserved, Kathy.
She was so amazing in the all-around competition, starting with bars. They awarded her the 10, and on floor she was sublime. It was just effortless, clean. What an extraordinary finish.
And our winner tonight, the Florida Gators, in the top scorer in the NCAA this season. For Kathy Johnson-Clark and our entire SEC Network crew, I'm Bart Connor. Thanks for joining us. This was a fun one. Coming up next is our SEC storied film titled Once Upon a Comeback.